the Chicago-Kansas City Expressway. If you're from either of those two cities, there's a chance you might know what I'm talking about. The rest of you are probably asking, what? Let me explain. The Chicago-Kansas City Expressway is a 528-mile-long road that runs between Kansas City, Missouri and Chicago, Illinois. It was created between the early 2000s to the mid-2010s. The route doesn't really have a definite starting spot. The Wikipedia page just says it starts in Claycoma, which is a suburb of Kansas City. I'll just say it starts at the nearby exit with I-435. Going north of 435, the expressway officially gets signed as Missouri Route 110. This is somewhat confusing considering there's already a Missouri State Route 110, but it's on the other side of the state, so it's not really that big of an issue. It goes through the suburbs of Pleasant Valley, Liberty, and Kearney, Missouri, not Nebraska. And then that's it for a while. After Kearney, you just hit rolling hills and farmland for the next 30 miles or so. After a while, the expressway, at this point still concurrent with Interstate 35, hits Cameron, where it takes a sharp turn east and becomes concurrent with US Route 36. From here, the expressway continues across northern Missouri, and there really isn't much to talk about. It passes through the decently sized towns of Hamilton, Chillicothe, Brookfield, Macon, Shelbina, and Monroe City. A few miles down the road from Monroe City, the expressway enters Hannibal, the biggest city in 150 miles. In downtown Hannibal, the expressway becomes concurrent with Interstate 72, and it crosses the Mississippi River into Hull, Illinois. Now signed as Illinois State Route 110, the expressway continues with 72 and 36 for a few more miles before turning north and becoming concurrent with Interstate 172. The expressway continues north to Quincy, where 172 ends and Illinois State Route 336 begins. Now concurrent with 336, Illinois 110 continues north to Carthage, where it turns east and becomes concurrent with US Route 136. In Macomb, the expressway loses concurrency with US 136 and Illinois Route 336 ends at a junction with US Route 67. 110 turns north and becomes concurrent with US Route 67, and the two continue toward Monmouth. In Monmouth, 110 leaves 67 but joins US 34, and the route goes east towards Galesburg, where it turns north again and begins concurrency with Interstate 74, losing concurrency with US Route 34. The expressway goes north towards the Quad Cities. In the Quad Cities, 110 loses concurrency with 74, begins concurrency with I-80 for a couple of miles, crosses the Rock River, and then begins concurrency with Interstate 88 as it turns east towards Chicago. Whilst concurrent with 88, the expressway crosses the Rock River again, slightly bypasses Sterling, Rock Falls, and Dixon, and junctions Interstate 39 and Rochelle. From here, the expressway just follows I-88 into Chicago. Like in Kansas City, there aren't any end or begin bumpers, so it's difficult to tell exactly where the expressway ends. So, why isn't this expressway more popular? Well, it comes down to a couple of reasons. First of all, the expressway goes through some really obscure areas. One of the reasons it's this way is because the expressway was constructed to relieve traffic off of the bigger cities along I-80, 70, and 55. But because there's limited service and emergency access, the route mainly goes unused. Secondly, it's not an interstate. A lot of people don't use this road because it's not signed as an interstate on maps, so they don't want to lose the ability to go 70 miles per hour. Third and finally, it's not that well known. Most people would use this if it were actually signed by both states, but unfortunately both Missouri and Illinois don't sign this route very well, so most people don't even know about it. Anyways, that was just kind of a video I've been wanting to do for a while, and it should provide some good content while I work on the Interstate 64 video. I'll see you then.